December the 31st has over the years been considered as one of the most important dates in Nigeria. Christians particularly see the date as the climax of all festivities and events. Worship services take place at various worship centers across the country, tagged crossover services. There are very high expectations and hope as the countdown to a new year begins with prayers and homilies.
Man can deceive, the government can deceive, those we look up to can deceive, but God is saying that He will not deceive us. And the promise is coming to us as the remnant of the land. We are like the remnant of the land, those who are still faithful. In the course of this year, I know many have left the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ because of the waves of doctrine flying around. Because you are still faithful to your God, is promising you newness of life.
At a time like this, where Nigeria needs all that it must receive from God to become a great nation, the women in our church and in the body of Christ will play that role that Esther played in that day, in that hour. And you, Ruth, will become that point of contact, and I release that unction into your life and into the lives of all our young women and our who are in this church and are outside of this church, who are children and women of destiny, of purpose, that they would spearhead and galvanize that process that will lead to the materialization and the crystallization of the renaissance of our nation.
The wicked and the unscrupulous are planning within and outside of our country to make the election 2019 inconclusive, so as to perpetrate unscrupulous things and hold the nation down.
Now you're going to leave 5, 4, 3, 2, jump.
The midnight hour ushers in the new year, when Nigerians will go to the polls to choose their leaders at the national and state levels.
Well, first, I think as it concerns this nation, we have the elections, and we're hoping that we will have a successful election because we believe God is here with us and He will be with us so that we will have a hitch-free election in 2019 and we can take on the next level.
As per election, it has happened in the past. In fact, in the last year that people thought there was going to be a bloodshed or whatever, it is God that have final say, and I strongly believe this year will be much better than next year, but than last year in all ways. That is God for you. He says, my way is not your ways, neither my thought is your thought. And again, the Bible makes me to understand that I know my plan for you is of good and not of evil. So plans of men could be evil, but that of God is of good. And so for Nigeria, I'm quite hopeful.
From the preacher's perspective, clergymen look into the political future of the nation, taking into cognizance the heated polity.
Of a truth, this is an opportunity that the Lord has given to us, 365 days, a lot of minutes in it, a lot of hours in it, where the Lord expects us to make decisions. He has given us all the information. He has given us His Spirit. This is a time where we ought to embrace the Spirit of the Lord to lead us into God's purpose for this year. I understand that a lot of people had crossed over into this year with a lot of challenges, albeit economical challenges. Like you said, we are in political situation in our country where we're going to determine the direction which we're going to go for the next 4 years. We cannot afford to get it wrong as a nation. We have to choose right. We have to make sure that we choose the right leaders for us to go into the next 4 years. Our decision will determine the quality of life that we will have as a country. February is critical. March is critical. Who are the people that we are going to choose to lead us? We have to be guided by the Spirit of the Lord to make sure that we choose right. It's a lot of hope. It's right there for us to take. You know, we can still have the good life that we desire. We just have to make better decisions. We have made, as a nation, we have made poor decisions coming to this point. What can turn us around? The Lord is with us. The Lord has never left us. The Lord has been gracious to us. He has been good and kind to us as a nation. We just have to begin to make better decisions. We've got to understand that we are the ones that have brought ourselves to where we are, and it will take us to get us from where we are to where the Lord wants us to be.
I've said before that what Nigeria needs is not an election, but an interim government. And that's why I said that I am a consensus, remedial facilitator, because we need to fix some things about Nigeria. Because going through another cycle of election is not going to set the problems aside. We're just going to go through another vicious circle. But we need to come to a place where we recognize that the fabric of this nation is so torn that it requires a miracle. And that is what I've been saying to the political class, that we need to come to a place where we pause, because there is no partisan equilibrium right now. No political partisan equilibrium can salvage Nigeria from the present quagmire until we come to a paradigm shift where we begin to view Nigeria from a totally different perspective, some kind of lateral thinking. That is what I expect. And I'm hoping that in time there will be a convergence, that all of these forces that are in the political hemisphere will come to a place where they recognize that there's no other way forward.